Hey guys, so today we're gonna make a mini album using this paper pad, and my goal for this section or this series again is going to be creating as many projects as I can with one paper pad and maybe some random goodies that I could add from my stash. I'll try to limit my supplies to things that you could find easily at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or any craft store, and also inexpensive items. I'll try not to use special tools. So today we're gonna use Meow by My Mind's Eye, and it has 48 designs, 24 designs, so I have 48 pages. That's a lot of pages to create projects. But for this I'm gonna use that, and also I'm gonna use black cardstock. This cardstock I got from Hobby Lobby, and I think it's maybe the regular cardstock, because I know they have like a thicker one. But any cardstock will be nice, not just regular paper, but like it has to be a little bit thick. Okay, I'll be using my adhesive, if I can find it. I just had it here. Oh, there you go. I moved it when I was trying to set up. I'll be using adhesive. This is my Elmer's runner tape thing. I got it at Walmart, but the refills are from the other brand. It's a blue brand, but I have a bunch of refills and they fit the same thing as the Elmer's one. I think a lot of these roller tapes, except for I think Tombow, they all have similar sizes, so you could use any refill for that. I'm gonna be using, well, no, I want to use the stapler, and I know you're like, but that's a different tool. Well, it's just a stapler, so if you have a stapler that will work. This one obviously has small staples. If you go to the Dollar Tree and stuff like that, they have tiny staplers too, so you could use that. And then I am going to be using alpha stickers. So I'm still deciding which alpha stickers I want to use, because I want to look at the colors and see how well they go. I did want to use my, let's see, do I have them here? My Amy Tangerine alpha stickers, but they're see-through, so I don't know how that's gonna work. I do have, hold on, this from the Dollar Tree, so I thought that might be cute, like happy day, hello, love, some of these, because they're like simple, but you never know. And then I have no idea where, oh, there we go, these are the alpha stickers I want to use. But again, they're see-through, so maybe in some, like when they have like a subtle pattern, like maybe like that one, it might be kind of cool to add it, or in between like the stripes. So we'll see how that works. But it's going to be just a simple little mini album that is going to go to my friend, and if my friend sees the video, I'm sure she'll know who it's for. I might make a couple because I have another friend that likes cats, so I might send that too. I'll see how this one comes out. Okay, enough talking. Let's get to the project. So you have to decide how big you want your project. So for me, I want to make a 3x3 because it's small. And if you have some project lifeguards that you really like, you could actually use them to like mat it, like to create a background. Now, oh look, I found my letters for, I know one of my words broke, like ripped, I don't know how, but there it goes. Anyways, so I'm thinking 3x3 because the project lifeguards are 3x4, so if you want to cut it to be a square, 3x3 is the thing. So maybe to get this set up, I could cut these a little, like a 1/4 inch wider, so there's like that border. So I'm gonna make them 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Now, if you want to leave a bigger border, then you add another 1/4, which that'd be kind of cool, but that's up to you. So 3 1/4. Now, how many pages? That's up to you to decide, because it depends on the papers you have, on what the album is for, who is it for, if it's, like, I know, like, if you do something like for maybe a baby's first year, maybe you need more. If it's not, then you don't need that many. So on this paper, I think I get to cut 6 squares, which I'll stick to 6 squares. You guys can add more if you want. Now there's little scraps left over, like this is like 3¼ by 2. Yep, 3¼ by 2. Don't throw them away. You could use them. Or even the other strip that we left. Now, I'm trying to fit it on the camera, but I know you can't see it. But this is 3¼ by 3¼ Okay. Now, you only need whatever you're going to cut. You only need, I'm only going to use 6 for this one. Put your paper to the side. I am going to pick my pages, my designs. So for this one, my friend likes cats, so I want to make sure there's some kind of cat background. So I'm definitely going to use that one. I know some people like to cut off and leave this inside, and that's what I wanted to do. But sometimes it's a lot of work trying to cut it. Oh, look at these. I'm actually going to cut some of these images to add as like ephemera. Oh, that one's cute, but you'll have to like make sure you get the kitties. Oh, the fishy one will be cute. These kitties will be cute. So I'm gonna pick 6 just because I want to have options. A simple one, and I said we want. Oh, this one will be cute. So that's, I think that's 6. Well, that's 5 plus my other paper that I'm gonna cut. Oops. Trying to see. They repeat. That's kind of cute. Cat lady, check me out. That's cute. Oh, look at this one. We'll do that one. And I know I said 6, but I am going to. Yep, I'm gonna stick with that. Put that to the side. You are gonna need a bigger paper trimmer for that one. Again, if you have one that's say you don't need a lot of them, it's just I like using my smaller one, but when I have big papers, at least when I first start with them, I try to cut them smaller so that I could use the other one. So we're gonna cut them to 3. The black papers or the background papers are 3¼ This one's not gonna be 3. Now I recommend that you cut one at a time. I'm really bad at this. I always try to cut a lot of them at a time, and then it messes up. It doesn't cut straight, or it's just, or my blade gets stuck because I need a new blade. Yeah, I need a new blade. I think that's a new blade, so I might try it. Okay, so you're gonna cut all your papers. Make sure that when you cut them, you don't cut the one that you're going to use as ephemera. That one. Put it to the side before I destroy it. So let's try changing the blade. I have no idea how these blades are changed. Do you guys know? I have no idea. Like literally, like I've never done this. You know what? We're going to have to cut with it. We're going to go with it. I never had to change this, so. Oh, I think you just pull it out. There we go. And I hope this one's sharper. I got this a while back, and there we go. That worked. Okay, I'm just gonna cut all of them at the same time because that's how I am. So make sure they're lined up. Now, when you cut these, initially it's not gonna matter which way you cut because you're cutting them in square size, so when you cut them in a square it won't affect it too much. Okay, there we go. Now I'll put this and this to the side because I don't need that. I might need those, but we'll see. Okay. Now, let's use those. There we go. Now, remember we said 3, so we're gonna cut them 3, and I hope they're straight. See, that one wasn't too great, so I'll have to double check the size on that one. I might have done, yeah. I cut it too small, so we're gonna hold on to that one. Okay. So we're gonna cut it to 3, and I'm gonna cut 2 sets. Maybe 3 because there's 6. If I cut 2 sets of the 6 patterns, then I could fit all my squares, but I don't have 6 patterns. I think I'm stuck to 5 patterns because I messed up the other one. Okay. And then if you cut 3 by 3, they all should be 3 by 3 because it's 12 inches long, so we're good. Okay. Now you're going to pick your patterns. So my first pattern for the front of the card, it could be very obvious. It's about cats. It could be, okay, there we go. These are my 5 designs, which I'm starting to kind of hate. Is that all I got? Come on. It needs like the brighter colors. See, that's what happens when you're working with something. Look at that one. That one would have worked too. Green. I need more pink. Like a brighter, a bolder color. I thought I had I got that one out, but I guess I didn't. Green might work. You know, we're gonna cut the green and the Meow. Okay. And we're gonna, yes, I know, you're like, why are you all over the place? Because that's how my brain's working right now. So there we go. Bye, paper trimmer. Okay. Hello, small paper trimmer. And I know you're like, well, couldn't you have done that beforehand? Well, I wanted to do it like you actually see the whole process. And that's not exactly 3, but we'll see. I wanted you to see the whole process and how long it actually takes me to make this mini album. It shouldn't take long, but decisions, that's what takes long. Okay, now we're gonna have more decisions. Okay, there we go. So I'm thinking, look, they lined up almost perfectly. Huh. Maybe I could find one that lines up the same. And if I find one that lines up the same, which, nope. Okay, because then I could cut like the Meow part, like let it show, but no. Okay. The cover, I kind of want the fishies. Those are cool. Okay. Then the inside pages, I want this with maybe the cats, the meows. No, we'll put the cats. Then on this one, we'll put the Meow and the green. And then on that one, we'll put, let's put more meows. This one and this one. No, I kind of want this pink one. Ah, there we go. And then, oops. Then this one will be this one and this one. Then this one will be the kitties and this one. And the back, I'm sticking with that one. Or maybe Meow. Nah. There we go. Okay. Now that I decided where I want them, all you have to do is stick them down. Now, depending on your album size, there might be better adhesives. I know that if I made, I think if I make these, there is like the sticker maker that makes it to, I mean, that's like 3 inches wide, so these would actually fit. If you were making a smaller one, I know that some sticker makers are smaller, some bigger, then you don't have to put the adhesive as much. But, okay, so the fishies are, does it matter which way? Oh, yeah, this way. Well, this one wouldn't matter. Now the goal right here is to center them, but if it doesn't happen, it's okay. Now, depending on your adhesive, you don't even have to add that much because some adhesives are really strong that even if you just put like on a few on the edges, it sticks and it'll be fine. But there's some adhesives that need extra attention. I like to do all 4 edges plus a little thing in the middle to kind of keep it stuck neatly, but doing maybe one on each side and then one in the middle, it'll be less adhesive, but it still works. Okay. Come on. I do this all the time where I'm like, oh, I got it, and then it moves, or it's not center. Okay. This one's not gonna happen because I'm trying to put my head under the camera, so it's hard to do that one. You try not to put it under the camera. Okay, now when you're done putting all these together, the tough part, whenever you don't have special tools, is how you're gonna bind it. So there are options. My favorite cheap option is just hole punch and put binder rings or ribbon. Now, I kind of want to put ribbon on this one, but I might just put the binder rings and then add ribbon to them. That way, if we want to add more pages to it, you just have to open the binder ring. Now, if you have, I think the cinch, is that what it's called? I have one that I like using, but I haven't used in a while. And I didn't want to use it on this video because not everybody has that machine. And it's not a cheap machine. I mean, I think I got it on sale, like, I don't know, somehow I got it like really cheap, but it's not really cheap though. Okay, so right here I have my 6 pages. Now, before I punch them, I could start decorating or adding where my buddy is going to put pictures or do some kind of writing. Or if you want to put little pockets. So that's what the little extra pieces come in. Now if you want to make them all the same, like all the pages the same with the same pattern paper, a big pattern paper would give you 12 of these pieces. So one pattern paper will fit all your 6 pages, which is kind of cool. Okay, now we have many of them like that, and perfect. I don't like how that one repeats, and I don't like how that one repeats, but we could still make it work. We could switch it up. So if you don't like where it goes, like, be like, you know what, I don't like this. I want this one right there, the meow with the pink, and there we go. Perfect. Okay, now we're gonna decorate it with these things. Now I have my scissors. I think I have my little scissors somewhere. Yes, I found them. I don't know what I was trying to do when cut, and they're kind of like bent or something, but we'll make it work. I know I have some other pair somewhere else. So now we're gonna do our cover. So on our cover, we could have I Heart Cats, Life is Perfect, and one of these cats. But look, these cats are quite big, so you have to make sure they fit. Oh, look at this one. Would that one fit? Oh, kind of. You know what? We're gonna make it work. Maybe not. Let's cut it and see how it works. So now, when you're cutting these, if you're gonna cut it as ephemera, try not to cut through the other ones, because then what's the point? So, what I'm gonna do is just cut around it, and you can leave a border. That's up to you. I think when you leave a border, it's easier, especially when they have like whiskers. You could just cut around them. If you have a lot of time and this relaxes you, like cutting relaxes you, then go ahead and cut all the little cats and all the little embellishments from that paper pad, and then you'll have a lot of ephemera that coordinates with the paper pad. I will cut the rest out later. It's Friday night. Well, it's still Friday morning, Friday afternoon. I don't know. It's around 12, so noon. So it's Friday. After I get off of work, I'll probably just cut a bunch of ephemera. And look, there we go. So now, if you want to be more detailed, then you can be more detailed. I'm kind of sloppy right now, but I'm gonna add details to it later. I'm going to add more stuff to it, so I'll be fine. Okay, so there we have a cat. Let me move all these to the side. Let's just focus on one. Look at that kitty. Then we're gonna look at this again, and maybe we could have I Heart Cats. So you decide if you want to cut around it or you want to cut it as a square. You decide. I'm just gonna cut around it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so there we go. I Heart Cats. Maybe at this arrow. See? All these little pieces you could use for something. I know I'm making the video, so that's why I'm kind of rushing. But you could slow down. And that way, I mean, I can tell you could cut all these later. Okay, so there we go. Now, if you don't like how it looks because it kind of blends into the background, you could add, maybe mat it with black. Like, put it right there and then mat it with black. You could do that and then it'll stand out. Or you could add maybe like this, look. It's up to you. I'm just going to tape it right there or glue it right there. Now, what do you guys think about the background paper? It's too distracting, isn't it? I was trying to find, because I bought a few papers to use as a background. They're a bit more subtle, more like less bold. And then I couldn't find them. And I found this, and I found a bunch of wrapping papers, and this was the one that was least distracting. But that's not saying a lot because it's bright. I like it though. You want it sideways? Yep, you want it like that. Now, the cat's too big. Just cut the tail. It is gonna go into it, but it's okay. So there's our cute little cover. Now, as you go through your pages, you could decide to add some kind of ephemera, or you could decide to add pockets. So I'm going to show you what if I wanted to add a pocket on this one. So I'm going to pick what I want my pocket to be. I'm thinking this one, and I want it smaller than that. So I'm going to make it maybe an inch, because half an inch will make it to the middle, an inch will make it maybe an inch and a quarter. We're gonna make it an inch and a quarter. You know what? Let's see how the inch and a half looks. Inch and a half looks fine because I forgot this is 3/4. Okay. Now, since this an inch and a half by 3 1/4, this one has to be an inch and a quarter by 3. And it's already by 3, so I just have to add the quarter, the 1 1/4. And look, now we're gonna mat it. And you don't have to do this. You could actually just leave it black, or you could just use the pattern paper. Oops. See, it moves. Okay, so just glue it down. And then you're gonna glue it to the side. Now for this part, you could use your adhesive or you could use scoring tape. And I thought I had scoring tape around here, but I've been moving things around. Oh, there we go. There's scoring tape. Now you decide what size scoring tape you have, or if that's what you want. I don't like using this adhesive because it pulls, because it's supposed to be permanent, but it's not really that permanent. And this is a bit stronger. Now, the other thing you could use is liquid glue. That liquid glue will make sure it sticks there, and I like that. But since I don't have liquid glue with me, I am going to use this. Now, if you use a thinner, make sure this is the bottom. If you use a thinner scoring tape, again, you have to make sure that you don't stuff it with too much, because then it will come off. Any adhesive, if you pull it too hard or stuff it, it's going to come off or pull out, like separate a little bit or rip the paper. So you have to be careful with that. At least that's what I noticed. Now, when you put the scoring tape, make sure you press it down so it's actually stuck. Take the adhesive, the backing, and then we're going to line it up with the bottom, because it still kind of helps keep that border. And now you have a pocket, and let me see, there we go, cute little pocket. So we have that. Now, what if you want to help with the picture? So you're gonna use some of your leftover black paper, cut it maybe to, let's say this is, I'll cut it to 2 3/4. Just cut it down a little bit. So I cut basically half an inch off of that piece of paper. You could put it right there. And then you have a spot for a picture. There you go. And then they could have some kind of writing and stuff like that. Now, what else can we do? What if you wanted a little flap? So all you have to do is find whatever you want. You know what? Let's do a belly band first. So this one's too wide. I'm just gonna cut half an inch away. So now it's like that. I could leave it like that with black, or I could actually mat it, like add a pattern. So for that one, I might want to do something not too bold, maybe that, or actually use the pink to match that one. So I'm going to match it. So this one is, let's see, sorry, this one is 1.5. So this one will be 1 1/4. And then I think it's still 3 1/4. So there we go. Now we're going to adhere it. You can use whatever adhesive you have. And there we go. It's not even, but it's okay. And then I'm gonna use my scoring tape to adhere the top and the bottom. Again, if you don't have scoring tape, I recommend liquid glue, but you have to let it dry first. Don't mess with it until it's dry. I think it holds better than tape runner. Okay. There we go. Now we're gonna put it, try to center it as best as you can. Okay, there we go. And now you have a belly band. There we go. And that's cute. Now, what was I saying? Yeah, we wanted to do like a little flip thing. So I'm trying to see what other black paper, that way I don't have to use too much of it. Okay, so this all depends on if you want black paper, you have extra black paper or not. I do have extra black paper. So what I want to do is cut something that is 3 1/4. And then I'm going to make it 3 1/2. 3 1/4 by 3 1/2. I'm just going with this. So if I want something to open, I want it to open this way. When you make it, it can't be as big as the paper because when you punch it, it'll lock it together. So you want to make it smaller. So right here, I am going to maybe cut 1/2 inch off, which I should have put in. So it's there. And then you're going to, I know if you don't have a scoring board, this is what I do. I'm going to line it up to 1/4 inch. Grab something not sharp, but not like the tip of a pen. And you're basically scoring it right there. It's hard to see. So it scores it because you just make a mark there. I use this pen because it's dry, so it won't mark it. So I'm gonna fold it there and see how it's right there. Now, we should have done this before we glued the background, but remember how I told you this adhesive is not that strong? And I could do this. Lift it up, get some scoring tape, and I am going to put it on this actually. So remember, if you want to do a flip thing, you might want to do it before you put the background. Now I'm going to add this edge. See how that edge? There. And I just have to make sure it's lined up. There we go. And then you just have to add adhesive to this side. Oops. Just telling you, do this beforehand. And there we go. Now you're going to find some of your leftover pattern paper to mat it. So right here, I'm gonna use this. Now if you measure it exactly, you know what to do. I just usually just mark it there, and then I just cut right there. So that's because I don't want to measure that. I think that's 3 inches, so this will be like 2 3/4. There we go. Now we have to do the inside. For this one, I think I am going to use, what else do I have besides the fishies? Meow. You know what? I'm gonna stick with the fishies. So now just figure out where it's at. Cut. And we're almost done. There we go. Cute. And that's the back of it. So I showed you a few ways of what you could add to finish your little album. You get to decide how you make it. You get to decide what you do. Now, we have to punch it. So for that, you could do different things. So, I said I was going to use the hole punch, but I want to show you something else. So if you have, let's see, I know you're like, I don't want to use special tools. But if you have maybe like the Happy Planner punch, you could actually punch it with that. I'm not gonna do it because I promise it's gonna use simple tools. But you could punch it like that, and then use 3, because I think you only need three of the little discs, and then that'd be kind of cool because then you could add different colored discs. But I said I wasn't gonna use any special tools because I want to use my where'd they go? I want to use my binder rings. Now, these binder rings are quite big. You could use the smaller ones. I don't know where my smaller ones are at. But I know that Amazon sells them. I think I bought these at Amazon, and then they have like the 3/4 of an inch or like a half an inch. They have them at Amazon. And I know Tim Holtz has some cute vintage looking ones too. Okay, so any hole puncher would do. There's the one I have in hand. You're like, that's a special tool. No, the hole puncher itself is not the special tool. This is what the thing for the eyelets, that's a special tool. Regular hole punch work fine. I have this one. Remember, if you have one tool that does more than one job, keep that instead of 2 different tools, because I could have the eyelet one, the punch, and then that differently, like separately, but I'm just gonna use one thing. Okay, so you're going to actually just punch 2 holes. So you decide how wide, how far away you want them. I am going to make them like half an inch, and I'll put one there. And you could add however many you want. You could add you could add 3 rings, 2 rings. I'm gonna put 2. Now, to make sure that I get them right, I'm going to line them up, mark them, and then move them to the side. And if you want to keep them in order, just put them face down on the side. So face down. I'm using a marker because that's the one I found, and also because if I make a mistake, it erases. These are like those friction markers. I've been trying to find the pens, but I can't find them for some weird reason. Hey, I haven't looked at Amazon. Maybe that's where I'll look. And there we go. And as you punch them, you could start putting them in the rings, or you could wait till you're done. I am going to start putting them in the rings. So okay, so flip it over, and then just try your best to line it up with. Now, when you punch it, it might not be perfectly lined up. Just try your best. This punch, the little pieces sometimes get stuck there, and it's hard to see where the circle's at. Now, when you punch, also make sure that it's not real. Like, you can't use a thick paper and a thick cardstock. Like the double-sided cardstock sometimes have, or the double-sided paper, oh, wrong side. Sometimes they have really thick pages, and then if you're gonna punch through them all, you have to be careful. Now, I think the crocodile, which is what this is called. I think this is what it is. I don't know. You guys might know. It's very strong, so cut through a lot of pieces, but if you have a different kind of punch, it might not work the same way, so you have to be careful. Yes, I kind of have to go like this so that part, the little circles would go away, if I could see. Okay, I'm close to the end, and see how I told you don't put it too far, because then you'll have to punch through it too. And if you want to make them all fold out, that's cute too, and they'll get bulky, and I like when the little journals get bulky. That's always fun. Close it, find your ribbon to decorate, and there you go. Now, any details you want to add to it, that's fine. I know that if you want to add paper clips to kind of hold this down, that's perfect. And I have some paper clips I found at Tuesday morning. Let me get them out. I think they're right here. Okay. Where are they? They're right here. I found those at Tuesday morning. And yeah, I'm trying to move things around. And look at that. It has little cats and little dogs. So this one will be perfect to use little cats. And I wanted to buy more, but $2.49 is kind of pricey for that. So I am going to be very careful and very frugal, or not, yeah, on how I spend these. or how I use them. So there you go. Has a little kitty. It kind of holds it together, or you could actually make sure it's like on the back. So hold on. So it holds everything together, and the cat's on the back. If you have extra pieces of these, well, especially the small ones, I'm trying to see if I think I used most of them. Then you could actually put them there for your buddy. That way they can use them to create more details on their album. If you want to have more picture thingies, picture mats, go ahead. Or just cut them themselves like that. Or provide the black paper and let them cut it. Right here, if you are going to cut a bunch of your ephemera, just stick them in there so they could have a little step. And there you go. Now, I did go to the Dollar Tree. I shouldn't have gone, but I did go, and I found these gemstones, and they're so bright, so sparkly. They're like iridescent. I don't know. So I'm going to use them to add details before I say bye-bye. So my goal is to use one strip of this. I am going to cut. Put it right there. There you go. And then maybe put some on the arrow. I don't know. I do like the idea of decorating where the picture is going to be. Have them on the corners. And these things are really sticky, so that's kind of good. There you go. 3 more. Maybe put them on the bottom of this, or right here, so it kind of opens. You know what? I'm gonna put it on the bottom of that. I think I might use, let's see, 5. Let's see, 5. Yep, 5, perfect. Put 5 up there too. There we go. Look at that. Super sparkly, super fun. Awesome. Okay, well there's my mini album. Of course I didn't add all the details, but I give you some tips and some ideas of what to do on the pages. So I'm gonna go over it one more time. Cover, use cut out images from the paper pad. Hole punch, easy for binding. You could use this or ribbon or some kind of string. Make pockets with leftovers. Make matting, they're mats, I think those are called picture mats, with leftovers too. Not just one, make extra. Have the person decide where they want to put them. Belly bands, that'd be kind of cute, especially making like a travel theme mini album. Then they could put like their souvenirs or their like receipts or a picture or like, I don't know, something in there. And then if you want to create a foldable thing, super easy. Yeah, so enough of me talking, enough of this. I think I'm done. I think it was a cute project. Now it's time to figure out what else to do with that paper pad. Who likes cats? Okay, so if you're a fan of cats and you have an idea of what to make, please let me know, comment below, and maybe if I do figure out how to do whatever it is, you might be able to like win it, like I get to send it to you. So just give me ideas, because I want to make stuff, but sometimes I don't know what, or I don't know who to send it to. So yeah. Okay, enough of me talking. I'll see you guys next time. Look how cute. Okay, bye-bye.